Employee retention credit for the self-employed. 4 key factors to determine their eligibility. Florida Tech ERTC Hub. Are there any legal considerations or potential pitfalls I should be aware of when applying for the employee retention credit as a self-employed individual? In this video, we'll explore the ins and outs of it, offering practical advice that'll give you a sturdy hand on the helm of your self-employed journey. If you're self-employed, you might not have employees in the traditional sense, but you could still be eligible for other types of relief or tax credits that were introduced during the pandemic. These could include unemployment benefits. Many governments around the world introduced expanded unemployment benefits or assistance for self-employed individuals who experienced a loss of income due to the pandemic. Economic impact payments, stimulus checks. Self-employed individuals were often eligible to receive direct payments as part of government stimulus packages to provide economic relief. Tax filing extensions. Tax filing and payment deadlines were often extended to provide individuals, including self-employed ones, with more time to manage their tax obligations. Business relief programs. Some regions had specific relief programs for self-employed individuals, offering grants, loans, or other forms of financial assistance. Remember that details and eligibility criteria for these programs can vary by country, region, and over time. It's recommended to consult with a tax professional or visit official government websites for the most up-to-date and accurate information regarding any available relief programs for self-employed individuals. Employee retention credit can significantly reduce tax liability for self-employed individuals who have experienced a shutdown or decline in gross receipts. The credit offers financial incentives from the government and promotes employee retention. Self-employed individuals can benefit from the credit by having less tax liability and greater government support, enabling them to invest, hire, and expand operations. Understanding eligibility criteria, documentation requirements, and IRS guidelines, as well as utilizing tax professionals with expertise in claiming the employee retention credit, can help overcome challenges in filing for the credit. Understanding the concept of employee retention credit. You've got to understand the concept of employee retention credit if you're self-employed and looking to keep your staff committed. It's not just about keeping your team happy, it's also a smart financial planning move. This credit, part of legislative updates that aim to support businesses during challenging times, can significantly reduce your tax liability. Credit eligibility isn't complicated. If you operate a trade or business and have experienced either a full or partial shutdown due to governmental orders, or a significant decline in gross receipts, then you qualify for the credit. That means more money back in your pocket come tax time. The retention benefits are twofold. Not only do you receive financial incentives from the government, but by prioritizing employee retention, you build a loyal workforce that's invested in your company's success. But remember, with these advantages come certain tax implications. The credit is taxable and must be included as income on your returns unless otherwise specified by law. The importance of employee retention credit for self-employed individuals. Understanding the significance of this financial incentive can greatly impact your bottom line if you're running your own business. The Employee Retention Credit, ERC, is a crucial entrepreneurial incentive, offering substantial tax benefits to enhance your financial stability. Government support like the ERC encourages sustained economic impact by easing the financial strain on self-employed individuals. You won't just survive, you'll thrive and contribute meaningfully to the economy. Strategies for effective employee retention and self-employment. As a self-employed individual, you hold the reins of employee retention. Implementing flexible schedules is one such strategy. Remote work is another ace up your sleeve. This not only cuts down on commuting stress but also opens up a wider talent pool for you to choose from. Skill development should be non-negotiable in your retention plan. Lastly, consider introducing incentive structures as part of the compensation package. Your business thrives when employees are engaged, skilled, autonomous, and rewarded appropriately. So don't overlook these key strategies when aiming for successful employee retention in self-employment scenarios. Overcoming challenges in filing for employee retention credit for the self-employed. Navigating the paperwork for claiming tax reliefs as an independent business owner can present a real challenge, but don't let that deter you. Understanding eligibility criteria, documentation requirements, and IRS guidelines are key to successfully applying for the Employee Retention Credit. To avoid common mistakes, familiarize yourself with the IRS guidelines pertaining to your specific situation. Consider utilizing tax professionals who have an in-depth knowledge of these processes. These professionals can guide you through this complex process, ensuring you make informed decisions and minimize potential errors. The journey may seem daunting at first glance, but with careful planning and adherence to set guidelines, it's entirely feasible to navigate this process independently. Empower yourself with knowledge about these requirements. It becomes much less intimidating once you've broken down what's needed from you. Self-employed individuals who operate a trade or business and meet at least one of the following criteria are eligible for the Employee Retention Credit. The individual's business operations were fully or partially suspended due to a COVID-19 related government order. The individual's gross receipts for any calendar quarter in 2020 were less than 50% of the gross receipts from the same quarter in 2019. Once eligibility is established, the credit amount is based on 50% of qualified wages paid to employees, up to a maximum credit of $5,000 per eligible individual. It's important to note that the Employee Retention Credit cannot be claimed if the self-employed individual has received a Paycheck Protection Program loan. The amount of the Employee Retention Credit, ERC, available to eligible employers, including self-employed individuals, is up to $5,000 per employee for all of 2020 and up to $28,000 per employee for the first 2 quarters of 2021. The exact amount of the credit will depend on several factors, including the number of employees and the wages paid to them during the eligible period. It is important to note that the ERC is a refundable tax credit, which means that if the credit exceeds the amount of taxes owed, the excess will be refunded to the employer. It's essential to assess the impact, understand eligibility requirements, and consider potential overlaps to optimize your tax strategy effectively. Yes, self-employed individuals who have received a PPP loan may still be eligible to claim the Employee Retention Credit, ERC, for wages paid to themselves. Hopefully, you've understood the value of the Employee Retention Credit. So click the link in the description to read the full article, and to check to see if you qualify for ERTC.